Hey guys, welcome to another segment of this buggy build. I keep putting go-kart and things like that into thumbnails of this machine, mainly just to, if somebody is interested in building a go-kart, will find this video and find it interesting and maybe try to go a little bit further and build something like this. But I keep getting like family or just somebody walks up to this and, oh, you're building a go-kart. And I'm starting to get annoyed by it because this is not a go-kart. Go-karts don't have independent front suspension. Go-karts don't usually have rear suspension. Go-karts usually just have a centrifugal clutch or a variable tension belt, CVT. I got 4 valves, 5 gears forward and reverse. All-terrain tires. Go-karts generally, the first go-karts ever built was basically somebody went out, took some tubing, took the lawnmower tires off their broken down ride mower, and that's what the whole basis of a go-kart. You don't have all-terrain tires on a actual go-kart. And front disc brakes, rear disc brakes, rack and pinion steering. Granted, you can put rack and pinion steering on a go-kart, but you don't really need to. You can just use a little drag length things to a pitman arm. So I'm getting kind of annoyed by that, and in my opinion, see if I can get out of the wind. This thing falls into the same categories as like a Razor. I mean, I have no payload place to put, no place to haul anything like a Razor. It's just made to go out all terrain, but with a little bit of the safety aspects of you got a roll cage around you, and yeah, but I don't know, I'm just getting annoyed by that go-kart statement. Anyways, I made some things off camera. The clutch, gas, and brake pedals. Oh yeah, a clutch pedal. You don't have that on a go-kart. But anyways, I made them all the same. They're gonna need something coming off this side to hook to whatever cables or arms or whatever. But I just made them all the same at this point. And I actually made this shape right here, rounded shape, a press. I took a piece of box tubing and cut out one side of it, and then set it in the press, set the plate on the press, and then put a piece of key stock in the middle of it, and then pressed on it, and kind of made this shape. So yeah, I mean, I probably won't get to putting those in this video, but I got them made up for later. Alright, changing out to the 300EX brake caliper. What's funny about this, and I've already tried to stick it on there right after I got it, and I just put this one back on just so the bolts don't get lost and stuff, but I made this bracket, that is basically the framework to this thing to go on, to fit a 300EX, and then of course this is one that bolts right onto a 300EX, but one of my bolts ain't lining up. Just, I don't know, just kind of weird. Anyway, I think I'm going to start off the day with putting that on. One other thought I had I might get into today is I thought about making a shape on the back of this machine. You got this bar going across the back. Be like this shape right here, but opposite, coming down. I just think that this thing, it would be fuller in the back. But I am kind of like reminiscing on just coming straight down and across and then down, or bring it in like this, like that thing is. But then it's like, if I try to put panels on it later, it's going to make it harder to do, because without cutting a piece to go right on the back, and then I'd have to cut a piece to go on the side, I wouldn't really be able to like wrap it around. So that's kind of what I'm looking at with that. Another thing is I measured around here, measured all the way around here, and it's 5 feet. And that is exactly what I got left of box tubing. It's 5 feet. And then that's not counting, you know, the risers. So, you know, I think I got a couple of little pieces of laying around here to make the risers out of, but it's going to depend on, you know, how high they're going to be is depending on what kind of pieces I got laying around. Check it out, I got what's left of a 7-inch cutoff wheel on my grinder. Yikes. Anyways, I needed something longer to be able to reach to get down in here and cut that bracket back off without tearing the whole bike apart or buggy apart to get to it. That'll get deep enough, but man, it's scary. Alright, well, I got it off, and I gotta tell you, this is extremely dangerous. I've ended up putting a full-size blade on there. One of the things about it, it's not very stable. Like, the blade very easily starts like rippling, and I ended up stabilizing a little bit by putting old blades on each side. But you don't want to do this. You got to be really. It's dangerous. All I can just tell you is you don't want to do it. But if you do it, you got to take your time. You got to be real slow about your movements and take your time, because it just starts really easily getting crazy. But I got it off there. Alright, so I just discovered a new problem, is that the bottom of the caliper right here is running into the bolts. So I'm hoping maybe I can kind of notch this out good enough, and hopefully this bolt right here isn't going to be an issue. But I'm kind of thinking if I just notch it out right here, it'll clear. But yeah. Well, I've had it on and off a couple of times, and man, I'm really having to whittle away at this thing. Alright, got that done. And it looks like, I don't know if you look up through there, there might be 10 thousandths or so of the pad that won't be, you know, that'll overlap the rotor a little bit, but that shouldn't affect anything. It's not like it's going to be enough that, you know, the pad will end up running into itself. It's nothing like that. As close as I get it. I ended up whittling a little bit more off of it. I was almost to the bolt that was in that bracket. And I ended up cutting the little rubber seal piece a little bit. Ended up nipping it. But, alright, so now we got brake calipers. Front and rear are 300EX, so when I need pads, I can just buy sets. I don't have to deal with those Chinese pads anymore. So, I think up next I'm going to work on making this lower piece in the frame. I got all the pieces cut, and this right here is just a straight edge to kind of, you know, set this stuff against, and I can measure from here to here and here to here to try to make sure that everything is the same. So hopefully I can get it welded without it moving around too much. My biggest concern is having the same distances between here and here, because if this angle's off us a little bit right here, you're not going to tell as much as the fact that if it's difference between here and here, because, you know, then you'll be looking at the back of the machine and you'll be able to see the difference. You'll have a frame of reference. But well, let's see what we get. I got it all welded up, and well, put it up on the machine. I'm kind of thinking I don't want it to be straight with this. I want it to be kind of going straight down, I'm thinking. Well, I don't know yet. I have to look at it, kind of hold it up and see what I think. You know, you get what I'm saying? If I go straight off of this, this is an angle, then it'll be at an angle, or go straight down. Kind of reminiscent about that. I got that in there. I don't think it looks too bad. I think it looks a lot better. And, I just kind of went with however it wanted to set in there. I just held it up there and held it by hand and tacked it, and welded it up. It is an eighth of an inch lower on this side than what it is this side compared, you know, ow, that gap right there. Kind of hot still. I went ahead and welded those up, finished welded those. They just kind of tacked before. And once again, if you're just catching into this series, a lot of this stuff's just tack welded. So if you see stuff, it's just like, well, that's just, you know, not welded. I tack weld a lot of things just to, in case I want to take it back out later. And there's some things I went ahead and finished up, but anyway, I need to put some stuff between, something from here down, you know, going down to the piece right there. And this is what I got left. That piece right there. So I think about putting an angle on that end that's the same as this end, and then I'm going to measure it and just exactly cut it in two and go with it. So I might end up having to fill in a lot because I'm not going to be able to get the correct angle, and I'll just fill it in, grind it off. You know, I got a lot of stupid things around here to grind off, like that big bowl right there. But you know, I won't be able to. If I try to start putting exact angles and stuff in, then they're going to come up too short. If they ain't going to be too short as it is, and see what we get. Alright, I think I got it where I want it to be. You see here, we got a piece going down, and I like it. It gives this thing a cool shape to it. Makes it look finished on the back. You don't have as much of an open space, and then this coming down, there's just nothing below it. I think it's more cosmetics than anything. I mean, I don't know. Something came crashing down onto the roll cage, you know, when you rolled over. It does now have something to transfer something to somewhere else, but you can see kind of what I had to go through to, you know, I got this strap and a clamp, and I had to keep cutting off, you know, grinding away some right here to bring this piece up, to try to make them the same as possible. As it is right now, it's 11 inches from the bottom of the frame to the bottom of that bar, and it's like 10 3/4 from the bottom of the frame to the bottom of the bar on this side. But I think it looks pretty cool. But well, it's the middle of February, and it was a fabulous day out here today, but starting to get kind of chilly. Yeah, I think I got a lot done today. But well, I'll catch you guys later.